Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and welcome, Mr. Secretary. A little over 30 years ago, I introduced a bill in the House of Representatives that banned smoking on airplanes. I was sensitive to the environment in the airplanes, the safety of it, public health, and the like, and thought the flying experience would be improved if smoking was removed, and it was. I'd like to address another issue about the quality of the experience in the airplanes today. After you're in your seat and have your belt fastened and you're on your underway, there's an announcement that usually comes around in most airplanes, not about just critical safety issues, but incredible credit card and frequent flyer opportunities. It's almost like the farmhand force-feeding a goose on his road to foie gras, the information that is jammed on you, and then the flight attendants walk up and down the aisles and pass out these cards for applications for their branded credit cards. They stand at the door as you leave the aircraft. It's a heavy sell. It's a hard sell. And you ask yourself, why? Why are they spending so much time doing it? I think you know the answer. Because major airlines make more money off their branded credit cards in your pocket than they do off their aviation operations. It turns out those big airlines are actually credit card companies that happen to own a few airplanes. So the question I have for you is, who polices the ranks when it comes to these frequent flyer programs? There's a lot of expectation and a lot of investment in those programs by millions of Americans. I know that you've initiated, through the administration, an interest in this field. Can you tell us more?
Yes, thank you. While we are, of course, not a banking regulator, we are an airline regulator. And as those business lines get blurred, we're recognizing that our responsibility to protect passengers may well come into play. We share your concerns about the rights of passengers who count on these or are told about these rewards programs. DOT has launched a review of our U.S. airline reward programs to determine if there are any unfair and deceptive practices, and we'll take enforcement action if appropriate. That includes analyzing consumer complaints and meeting with airlines, and we're considering soliciting further information. The other thing I would mention, having noted the boundaries of our lane, is that we're coordinating with CFPB, recognizing that there is a mutual concern here. In fact, we plan to convene a joint hearing with CFPB on May 9th with industry representatives, labor leaders, and consumer advocates to talk about competition issues and challenges that consumers are experiencing with some of these airline and credit card reward programs.
I'm glad you're doing that. And I understand you have a jurisdiction that isn't exactly consumer protection, but this is really an entity that's become so important to so many families across America. We have troubling reports that airlines are devaluing points, making it harder for consumers to achieve promised rewards. And at certain times, the cost of purchasing points from airlines' websites may be 3 times the value of the points at redemption. The list goes on and on. There is no policing the ranks of these airline credit card companies when it comes to this benefit. I have a minute and a half, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention location, location, location. I'm glad you led off your statement on rail service with Chicago, Illinois. You can understand my interest in that. I hope that we can find a way to finally make an investment that will dramatically change the performance of railroads across the United States dependent on efficiency at Chicago. We've had some horror stories in the past. We want to get those behind us. What is your thinking on that?
We certainly believe that there is enormous opportunity for investments to continue to yield improvements, and we know how important that is to your region. Welcome further discretionary grant applications in that regard that would be helpful, and I know our personnel have been engaging with teams from the region to discuss this too.
Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary. I yield back the balance of my time.